Hello, this is Christian. In this video, I'm going to cover the exercise 11-2 in Unit 10. Now, this is something we're going to do a little bit different from the book because the book has some really old data that's no longer working. And so we're going to use a different API. And APIs, as you know, change all the time. And so the one I had earlier, if you visited this site earlier, you see that it didn't work. So I updated the file and I have the instructions here. If you click to this link, this will take you to this document page. In here, I just have a link to the documentation. If you're interested in learning about the APIs, you can go here. And I'm just going to open that for us anyway. And so the content of the stock_check.php file should look like this. Okay, so you can want to modify so it looks like this. If it's not like so, the only difference here is just basically this API. This is the API or the link to get the ticker symbols and stock information here. Now this is a sandbox only. It's a sandbox. I put a note here. It's a sandbox API. That means the data are just really kind of like fake, right? Not real, and the date may not be accurate. If you reloading the page every time, you're gonna get a different price all the time, which is okay because we're just basically learning about how to use APIs in this example. Okay, so make sure your PHP file looks like this. What this one does is basically it would fetch the data from this API based on the ticker symbol here we get from the web form through the T, right? It's a parameter we pass using the get method, and we're going to use that pass it over to the API, and we'll retrieve that information back, return as a quote, and then we convert that quote to a string, a JSON string, and then we echo that out. So when you echo that, and because it's you actually basically print to the screen, but since you're accessing this through the API, through the HTTP, then it returns that string to your script at this line where it says HTTP request dot response text. So this response text is exactly what you sent out from the PHP file, okay? And then once you receive it on your JavaScript side of things, then you need to convert it to a JavaScript object, right? Using the JSON.parse function to parse that into an object. Once that's been parsed to an object, then it will look something like this. This is an object now, right? So the the elements or the items that we're interested in are the ones that are put here in yellow. Okay, we need the ticker symbol, the open, close values, the high and lows. We use this. You need to get this for the range, and then down here we get the change. So it does it. It does the calculation for you automatically. Otherwise, I think just the difference between the closing and the opening. Okay, if you subtract those, I believe you should get something kind of like this one here. And then the average total volume. Notice this is not the same as your volume. Okay, this is the average. And then down here you get the last trade time. Okay, so these times are in Unix timestamp. That means you have to use your function to convert it to the day and time and so on. And it's really simple. I put a note down here as well to show you to do that. So to get this information in this example here is really easy because now you can just access those keys using this dot notation. You can also use the um, uh, another way is you can use this too. You can say, stock items, and you can use the like this the array symbol like that. That will also give you that same information. Okay, the dot notation or the array method, either way. And so once you get the trade time, again, this is the last one here. It's an Unix timestamp. So you need to convert it to the date, and you can pass that to the date function. You pass that in here, and it will convert to the date time for you. So I'm basically reassigning that again. So if you print this out, I think you should have the date that look kind of similar to what you see here in the date field. Okay, it give it the month, day, year, plus the time, and then the central daylight timestamp, and all those information will be converted automatically for you. All right, so that is what you need to do. Now, over here is the API. Again, this is a site that will give you that. Now, they do have a free account if you're interested in, more, but you don't have to do that. We're just basically using the sandbox, okay? But the data return will look something like this down here, I think. If I go down to the bottom, somewhere down here, let me just go all the way to the quote. Let's see, where is it at? I'm not sure where, but it's a pretty long information. I'm sure it's somewhere down here. You have a JSON string return, which look kind of similar. Yeah, looks, well, no, this is not it. The one we're using is really just, let me see where it is. Not that one. Yeah, let me see, quotes. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, this is not the API we're using. This is the real API. So if you use this, it won't work unless you have a token, and you have to register and use that. But again, don't waste money or don't waste time doing that. But the data return will look something like this. This is the one I pasted into the document over here, right? And the link that I'd use is this one down here at the bottom. I don't know why I lost it somewhere, but it's just a sandbox API. So it's this one here. Okay, so if I run this, if I copy this, and you need the whole token and everything, copy that and go to the site and change the ticker symbol to, let's just say, Google, G-O-O-G, and this is what you get in return, right? And so it's kind of hard to see because this is a JSON string. If you press F12, and let me just put this down below here. So you get something like that, right? If I do F12, you see that it doesn't see here unless you go to, I think, the network. Okay, and then make sure you select all here. And why is this so small? Let me make it a little bit bigger. Did I shrink this? Nope. All right, so if you click on this link here, it should give you the information to receive, the same information here. This is a string, but in the header section, when you come as a preview, you click on the preview, and it comes in as an object. So you can see that it has this information here already, right? Okay, so this is an object notation. And so once you receive this information, you can just get the data and so on. So in the console, in the source here, I don't have it because I cannot get this information. So that is what you need to do. And let me just copy this and I'll put it on the console so you can see. I put here data equals, maybe I put like stock items, right? Items equals that. Now this is, again, it's an object already because I copied it, I think. Yeah, so it's an object already. So once you convert it to an object, it will look something like this already. Initially it was a string, so if I would go back and change it to a string, so if you put like a quotation and a quotation at the beginning, like that, you get this as a string, right? It's all red. You can see that if I type in top stock items, it's a string. You cannot get the information here easily. So just convert it to JSON data. Okay, let me do it again. So this is the string here. I converted data by going stock item is reassigned with the JSON.parse. Okay, I'm parsing the stock items, and then now it's a object, and this tool tells you that it's an object now. Okay, so now this stock items has a key called quote. Inside the quote, I have these properties. So to get the symbol, for example, I would do something like stock items dot quote. You can see all the information there, dot symbol, and that gives me the symbol for this stock. If you want to get a different value, like the open, then again, quote dot open quote that close and gives you this value here. These are all keys, by the way. So it's really nice. If I go here again, if I go and open, I got the open value. If I get the last date time, last trade time, as you can see, it's a Unix time, right? So you can't know. To convert it, you would do something like, let's see, I have it put into a variable called let date equals new date. You have to call the new date function or constructor, and you pass in the time, which is this whole thing here. I didn't put into a variable, but if you put it into a variable first, then you get the it's just less to type. So now I'm converting that to a date. If I show the date, you see that it converted to a month, date, and year. As you can see, it's like in the future date, okay, which is okay. Again, it's just a sandbox. So you can see that the value will be changed every time when I rerun this. If you look at the open price, it's 1126.38. If I run it again, okay, you see that I get a different value every time because it's just, again, a sandbox. Right? So that is what you need to do. You get the stock items, and then in your script, just change it, and so on. So that means, like, go here to your file. Here's the file, the stock HTML. This is the PHP file. It will look something exactly like this. You don't have to change anything here besides the link. And then your script is where you need to do inside the, let's see, the display data function. So you need to modify that, okay? So everything goes great. You pass the get the quote. You pass in the data, the entry. Initially, we'll just set a 0. You can set to anything you want. But this will be the entry. Not sure. No. The T is just this T here. Okay, not sure why I put a T here. Put 0 here. You could just put like that is fine, or you go to null. Okay. And then this T. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's in here. I don't remember why. But you pass the entry, which is the default. Now the default here is you have this IXIC here. I think this is like a it's like the NASDAQ trade or something. I don't remember what it was. Okay, you can use that, or you can use the default, anything you want, like AAPF for Apple, but as a default, for example, that's fine. It doesn't really matter here. But when you process the data, this is where the display information comes in. The HTTP request.response text, this one contains the actual data that is received from the PHP file, right? The JSON text string. And then again, I mentioned here, you need to convert to objects, so stock results. Put that into a new variable if you want to. Same variable, doesn't matter. JSON.parse, and then stock result, and that converts to a JSON data. And then now you can process the information. Okay, so go to your field. I'm sure you know how to do that. Get the ID for the ticker, opening, trade, and so on, and then display that to the DOM by using the document element getID, and so on. So the stock items here, as you can see, is it a global variable? Yes, it is. So let me save this. Well, if you run it, you can access it. But so now you can do like I did in the browser and then convert that and display the information. Okay, so if you have any questions or if it gives you any strange errors, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to assist you and fix any errors. Thanks.